Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings, viewers and subscribers. I carried a story on Thursday of this week. It was about a 12-year-old female who was shot and injured. She was shot and injured on Wednesday morning about 7 o'clock in the Canaan district area of Dumfries in the parish of St. James. That 12-year-old female, she was depending on a bike when hoodlums traveling in a car opened gunfire on the guy who was riding the bike. That guy who was riding the bike, his name is Lester Gallimore, but he's popularly known as ZADDO. Their intention was to kill ZADDO, but he escaped unhurt. The 12-year-old girl, she was shot in her right shoulder. It is said that ZADDO, he then went and armed himself with an M16 rifle and he shot and killed Romaine Melville and Andrew Brown in an act of reprisal. ZADDO is now wanted by the police for the double murder, but not only that. I am now confirming that ZADDO and the 12-year-old girl who was on the bike and got shot, they are involved in an intimate relationship. In fact, that girl, she celebrated her 12th birthday in mid-November last year, and she and ZADDO, they have been involved before that. So from she was 11 years old, she was intimately involved with ZADDO. And you want to know the worst part? Her mother and her father are fully aware of what was happening. In fact, on her 12th birthday on Wednesday, November 16 last year, ZADDO took her to Montego Bay where he bought her a birthday cake, and we are told that her entire family partake of it. Wednesday morning when she was shot, she had slept at ZADDO's yard the night before, and ZADDO was taking her to her house where she lived with her mother and other family members for her to get ready to go to school. Do you see why we have so much indiscipline in our schools? This girl is a 12-year-old student at the William Nib High School. She basically lives with her man and it is known by her parents. Do you think any teacher at school can talk to her? Moreover, her man a gunman? Do you see what is happening? By the way, I have something I want to say. Let me warn some parents. You see, some of you keep sending me all kind of messages about what your child do and the actions that some schools are taking against your child. And according to Uno want me to load up the school. But I have a message for you. Not on this channel. This channel is on the side of teachers. This channel is on the side of law and order. So when schools say boys must not wear tight pants to school and them wear it because you can't control them. When they go to school and the school take action, don't text me about it because me I go black or no. Sorry to go off track, but I've been wanting to say that for a long time. But do you see what is happening? Just because this guy was giving their 11 or 12-year-old daughter all kind of gifts, the parents allow her to go and sleep out. After she was shot, do you want to know who it was that carried her to the hospital? It was her father. She could have died in his hands. Boy, may I tell you. Now, in this next story, on Wednesday afternoon, May 10, about 1 o'clock, a man, his name is Daniel-Jaggi. He is 34 years old and he's living at Conrick Road in London, in England. He was about to board a flight destined to Birmingham in England when his luggage was searched. We are told that coke in the white powdery farm, weighing about 21 pounds and about 5 ounces of ganja, was found in his luggage. As a result, he was taken into police custody pending charges. Later on the same day, Tamar Anderson, she is 46 years old and we are told that she is a manager. She's living at Brayards Road in London, England. She was about to board a flight destined to London Heathrow when her carry-on luggage was checked. One box of Tasty Patty was found with 3 packages containing coke in the white powdery form, weighing about 3 pounds. As a result, she too was taken into police custody. This next incident, it took place yesterday afternoon, Friday, May 12, about 2:30. It took place at Tenement in the Salt Spring area of St. James. We are learning that man on your screen, his name is Denardo Smith, but he's popularly known as Tino. He is 29 years old and he was living in the same Salt Spring area of St. James. Tino and some other men, they were sitting under a tree when 2 hoodlums walked up. One of the hoodlums, he pulled a gun and opened gunfire at Tino, hitting him in his upper body. The hoodlums, they then ran back onto the roadway where they boarded a waiting motor car, making good their escape. Tino, he was rushed to the Cornwell Regional Hospital by a resident, but he was pronounced DEAD on arrival. The police were called, and when they processed this crime scene, 9 9mm spent shells were recovered from the scene. The mayhem. Now, over in Cauldwell, in the Green Island area of Hanover, there has been some mayhem taking place. Persons are being killed, and there's a lot of reprisals taking place. The Hanover police, they have now listed a guy known as Punkos as being wanted for some of the murders and shootings taking place in the area. Well, yesterday, Punkos' great-granduncle, he was attacked and shot. We are told that he was rushed to hospital where he was treated and admitted. Now, when I keep saying that the atrocities are not gonna done for now, a lot of persons take me to task, telling me foolishness that I should be speaking things into being. Let me tell you something. I am being real. And talking about being real, there are some atrocities taking place in the Montpelier area of Hanover. A grandfather was killed yesterday, and from all indication, things are going to get worse. But before I tell you about that incident, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Have you hit on the love button as yet? If you have not yet done so, remember to hit on it. Also, if you are over here watching our videos and you have not yet subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. As also, hit on the notification bell. Then click all, so that whenever we drop a new video, you will be the first to be notified. Listen this now. On Friday, March 3, I brought you a story. I'm gonna play some of that story for you so you can better understand where we are now. Listen to this. I told you about the killing of that man on your screen. His name is Adrian Grizzle. He was also known as Nishi or Eskibas. He is 36 years old and it is said that he was a taxi driver. Eskibas, he lived at Montpelier in the Sandy Bay police area in the parish of Hanover. Listen to this now. Listen me carefully. About 12 midday on Monday, November 8, 2010, over 12 years ago, a man named Cornel Grizzle, along with his son, Adrian Grizzle. Follow me. A man named Cornel Grizzle, along with his son, Adrian Grizzle. Now, Adrian, he was 23 years old at the time. Both father and son, along with another man, they were all armed with guns. They went to a house at Montpelier in the parish of Hanover. Now, you notice, I am not using the word allegations. You will soon find out why. So, like I was saying, Cornel Grizzle, his son Adrian Grizzle, and another hoodlum, all armed with guns, they went to a house. At the house were 2 ladies. It is said that they pointed their guns at the ladies and asked one of the ladies for her son Shen. Both ladies, although they were fearful, the mother asked the 3 hoodlums who they knew before, "What do you want my son for?" Cornel Grizzle, the father, His response was, "We want to make your sister we kill man in a broad daylight." Shortly after that, Shen's father, who was on the road, he came at the scene and he saw Cornel Grizzle, his son Adrian Grizzle, and the other hoodlum with the guns. When the three of them realized that Shen was not there, they walked away. The parents, they made a report at the Sandy Bay police station. Hear this now and listen to me good. So you remember that incident, it took place on Monday, November 8, 2010. Well, the next week, Tuesday, November 16, 2010, about 8:30 in the night, Shenil Campbell, also known as Shen, he was 21 years old at the time, and he was the same young man who Cornel Grizzle, his son Adrian Grizzle, and the other hoodlum had gone to his house and wanted to kill him in front of his parents. Shen and another young man named Tamar Rutherford. He was 24 years old at the time, and it is said that he's from Norwood in the parish of St. James. They were driving in Shen's grey Toyota motor car. They were driving along the Montpelier main road when hoodlums blocked the road on them. The hoodlums, they opened gunfire on the car, killing both of them on the spot. So, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. Do you have any doubt as to who might have killed Shen and Tamar? Cornel Grizzle and his son Adrian, they were taken into police custody as suspects in this double murder. Now, I'm not sure whether there was enough evidence to charge them for that murder. I'm not sure whether or not they were charged for the double murder, but what I'm sure about is both of them, they were charged for the incident that took place in broad daylight at Shen's parents' house. They were charged for 1, assault at common law, and 2, illegal possession of firearm. The case against them, it was tried in the Western Regional Gun Court in Montego Bay on June 9 and 10, 2011, and both of them, they were found guilty. On June 14, 2011, Cornel Grizzle and his son Adrian Grizzle, they were sentenced to 12 years in prison for the illegal guns and 3 years for assault at common law. Both of them, they filed appeals, and on May 29, 2015, their appeal was thrown out by the court. So, are you now understanding why I'm not saying the allegations? They were found guilty and sent to prison. Now, Cornel Grizzle and his son Adrian Grizzle, also known as Nishi and Esquibas, they were recently released from prison. We are told that since Esquibas was released, he has been running taxi. Well, Thursday, March 2, 2023, about some minutes to 12 o'clock, it is said that Esquibas, also known as Nishi, he was on the hustling. We are told that he was parked at the almond tree, where taxis usually parked at Sandy Bay to pick up passengers. Our information is that a passenger was sitting in the front of the car when Esquibas, he got a phone call. He told the passenger who was in the car to come out of the car because he was going to deal with something and come back. The rest, as they say, is history. Esquibas, whilst he was driving along the road, he was taken out in a hail of bullets. So, you heard that. Well, we are told that Nishi, he was buried recently, and there were some talks of vengeance. Persons who are close to Nishi, they were saying that somebody have to die. Hear this now. That man on your screen, his name is Dwayne Anthony Cunningham, but he was popularly known as Lance or Tupac. He is 37 years old. Early last week, Saturday morning, May 6, Tupac, he was at a house sleeping when hoodlums went there and kicked off the front door for the room that Tupac was sleeping in. The hoodlums, they opened gunfire hitting Tupac on his left foot and his upper body. They then made good their escape. From all indication, Tupac died on the spot. But guess what? We are being told that Tupac, he was not the target for the hoodlums. We are told that the target was a guy named Joe. But that night, or earlier that night, Joe had a female visiting him. So he slept in another room and Tupac slept in his Joe room. Are you following me? Well, yesterday, broad daylight, Friday, May 12th, in another act of reprisal, hoodlums pounced. And you know who the target was in that attack? None other than Mr. Cornel Grizzle. The same Mr. Cornel Grizzle who went to prison with his son Nishi. He was shot and killed by hoodlums. We are told that hoodlums, they are also after one of Nishi's brother called Bim Bim. You think this done yet? You think so? The mayhem continues. Blessed love, everybody.
Tell a friend for tell a friend for tell a friend about Popeye Newslink and PNL Blog TV. Like, subscribe and share. Quicksilver sing, if we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. If we just unite, what a country this will be. If we just unite, Jamaica live in unity. Hey, crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. I coulda sunshine or rain. Jamaica, no problem, no pain. Rude boy them no out can't tame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. To the street and the lane. Everybody them start complain. Bloodshed, what a shame, but me want me country back. Give me country back. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica. Jamaica, Jamaica, the land of the sun. Jamaica become now the land of the gun. East and north and south when me turn. Country and town, man a pay blood a run. Murder, don't you baby me hear them a murder. Cut it out, tell them no gonna further. Man a dead like cans and bird, yeah. Who no listen them a word, yeah. Crime it a mash up Jamaica. Criminals them a mash up Jamaica. Jamaicans mash up Jamaica. Oh Jamaica, me sweet Jamaica.